Today's bold chapter is about Frane Selak, the man who cheated death. Have you ever heard of a man so unlucky that it seemed the universe wanted him gone? And yet, so unbelievably lucky that he lived to laugh at death, not once, not twice, but 7 times. This isn't urban legend. This isn't fiction. This is the true story of Frane Selak, a Croatian music teacher who stared death in the face and walked away. They called him the luckiest man alive, but he didn't see it that way. Let's begin. Every life is a story, but some are unbelievable. This is Bold Chapter. It was 1962, a cold winter morning in Yugoslavia. The kind of morning where you see your breath in the air, and silence covers the landscape like a heavy blanket. Frane boarded a train from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik, likely thinking about the lesson he'd teach next week, or the warm stew waiting back home. He had no idea this ride would become his first dance with death. Out of nowhere, a terrible screech. The ground trembled. The train derailed, skidding wildly before plunging straight into a frozen river. Steel met ice, screams echoed. Chaos. 17 people drowned that day. Frane. He smashed through a window, broke his arm, and clawed his way to the surface, teeth chattering, heart pounding. Hypothermia nearly took him, but it didn't. And that alone could have been the miracle of his life. But no, this was just the beginning. 1 year later, 1963, Frane took his first and only flight. A domestic flight. Nothing special. He wasn't afraid of flying. Not then. Mid-air, a sudden noise. Boom. The cabin door exploded open. Cabin pressure collapsed. People screamed. Frane was sucked out of the plane, into the clouds. Imagine falling through the sky. No parachute, no hope. Just wind in your ears and the thought, so this is it. But fate had another plan. Frane crashed into a haystack in a remote field. Not concrete, not water, a haystack. Everyone else on the flight, all 19 passengers, perished. Except him, again. How do you explain that? Some said it was coincidence. Others said it was divine protection. Frane simply said, nothing. He walked away, quiet, grateful, and confused. In 1996, Frane was on a bus with several passengers, winding through narrow mountain roads beside a river swollen from spring rain. You can probably guess what happened next. The bus skidded on a sharp turn, broke the railings, and plunged, again, into a river. 4 people drowned. Frane escaped, again, wet, coughing, disoriented, but alive. By now, survival seemed to be a cruel joke, but the universe wasn't done. In 1970, Frane was driving through the hills when his car suddenly burst into flames. No warning. He leapt out just in time before the vehicle exploded behind him. 3 years later, 1973, another car, another explosion. The fuel tank detonated, sending flames through the air vents. His hair burned. His eyebrows were gone. But Frane was still breathing. In 1995, Frane was simply walking across the street in Zagreb when a bus hit him at full speed. He rolled off the front and stood up. No broken bones, not even a scratch worth stitching. If it wasn't being filmed, no one would believe it. Hey, you're here for bold stories, and we've got plenty more coming. Smash that like button, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and drop a comment to tell us what hit you hardest in this episode. And if you want to ride with us all the way to the top, subscribe right now. Let's make this the fastest growing channel of 2025. It's a community, and you're part of it. Then came 1996, maybe the most cinematic moment of all. He was driving again through the Croatian mountains. Suddenly, a truck was coming head-on. Frane swerved. He had no choice. But the road ended in a cliff. His car flew off the edge, 300 feet down into a rocky gorge. And Frane, he somehow managed to jump out mid-air and grab onto a tree branch. He held on. He watched his car explode at the bottom of the canyon. 7 accidents, 7 survivals. No man should live through all that. But Frane did. So what did life give him next? In 2003, Frane bought a lottery ticket, just for fun. And he won. Over $1 million. The man who cheated death 7 times had just been rewarded by life. But what did he do with the money? He gave most of it away, bought a small house, and said simply, "Money can't replace peace, and peace is what I've been given." Frane Selak passed away in 2016, peacefully, in his sleep, at the age of 87. No explosions, no buses, no rivers, just silence. Some say he was cursed, others that he was chosen. But Frane never claimed to be a hero. He always said he was just a simple man, a music teacher, who got a second chance, again and again. He once said, "My life wasn't easy, but I never asked for safety, only meaning. And maybe that's what kept me alive." So the next time you feel like life is working against you, or that luck just isn't on your side, remember Frane, the man who didn't just survive life, he outlived death 7 times. Another chapter closed, but the story is far from over. Subscribe to Bold Chapter and never miss what's next. If this story moved you, like, share and subscribe. And never forget, sometimes the most extraordinary lives belong to the most ordinary people. Frane Selak, the man who outlived death not once, but 7 times.